Down, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padres gang. Yeah, that.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the August 12th Talking Friars Padres Nationals pregame show. I'm your host, Ben Fadden. We got a couple hours, a little more than a couple hours, 2.5 hours until first pitch. I think it's at like 4:05 today. The game is on Apple TV Plus, so no Bally Sports San Diego, but it's on 97.3 The Fan for the radio. As always, the Padres entered today 63-51. Nationals are 37-76. They are garbage, and there's obviously we know why Hosmer didn't want to be traded there. They suck, and that's why Padre fans are probably expecting a sweep here. Both lineups are out. Mike Clevenger's on the mound for the Padres. Cory Abbott is on the mound for the Nationals. And we'll get right into this pregame show. So I appreciate everyone for being here. You can follow the social media channels at Talking Friars on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content. I just put an episode. I was live earlier today. Put an episode out talking about Peter Seidler's comments regarding a possible Juan Soto extension and Fernando Tatis Jr., his timeline. Discussed that a little bit, previewed a little bit of this series. So that episode is out on podcast platforms and on this YouTube channel for you to go watch or listen to when this pregame show is over. As for Clevenger, he's on the mound today. Last time out, went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. It wasn't his best against the Dodgers, but I think there were some things that didn't go his way. Now, I think he probably should have been taken out earlier than he was. I believe after that game, I didn't like the decision with Bob Melvin not going to Morejon earlier, and he let Clevenger face Muncy. And even, I guess I was fine with Melvin having Clev face Muncy, but he threw a breaking ball to Muncy there, and this year Muncy has really struggled with the fastball, and so that's where that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Padres ended up losing that game to the Dodgers. They obviously got swept in that series. And so you're hoping for more of an outing. Obviously, you're facing a much worse team in the Nationals in that offense compared to the Dodgers offense tonight. I'm expecting better from Clevenger. The start before his last start, that was August 1st. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run against the Rockies. So, the Rockies, Nationals, Rockies might be a little bit better of a lineup. But Clevenger's at the point now where, they're not holding back anything. It's his normal starts, 90-plus pitches. And so I'm expecting that he'll be better today when he's facing a lineup that sucks. I mean, Luke Voight and Nelson Cruz are the only 2 guys that probably most fans can identify in this lineup. And Nelson Cruz is not in the prime of his career anymore. And Luke Voight, he's the former Padre that just got traded there because of Eric Hosmer's decision. Luis Garcia's leading off for them. Shortstop, no, not our reliever, but a position player. And then Voight's at first base batting second. He'll return to Petco, by the way, next Thursday when the Nationals come here. Cruz is DHing. Yadiel Hernandez is in left field. He's their 4-hitter. I'm sure no one's heard of him. Joey Meneses, I think is how you say his name. He's in right field batting 5th, so I guess that's Soto's replacement. Keibert Ruiz is batting 6th. He was that Dodger prospect that was traded to the Nationals in the Scherzer-Turner deal last trade deadline. So he's catching batting 6th. He's hitting .246 this year. Cesar Hernandez, maybe he's another name former Philly. He's at second base batting 7th. And then Lane Thomas used to play a little bit for the Cardinals, I believe. He's batting 8th in center. And Ildemaro Vargas is at third base batting 9th. So a lot of no names in this lineup. And so Clev, I'm expecting the same out of Clev as I'm expecting out of Snell and Darvish this weekend. Go out, have a quality start, give up no runs or 1 or 2 runs. Try not to give up more than 3 and get this series sweep because this team sucks. You have this much talent, you gotta uh, think that they're gonna win every game in this series. You expect them to win every game in this series. I know that it's harder to do that. It's harder to do it than for me to just come here and say it. But I expect them to win every game because if we want this team to be, real World Series contender, this is what the Dodgers do, right? They go and they go win all of these games, or they definitely at least win the series. They don't let those opportunities slip away. So 4-5's the first pitch. Cory Abbott, he went to Sarah High School. He is starting on the mound for the Nationals. So I know he's from San Diego. No disrespect to him. With all due respect to him, I want him to get crushed tonight. Last time out, August 7th, went in Philly, went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 7 runs. Holy cow. 5 walks, so he was really bad. Gave up 7 hits and walked 5. Holy cow. I wouldn't expect him to do that again, but, the Padres lineup's probably better than the Phillies lineup. Nationals lost 13-1 in that game, August 7th. Wow. You hope that exact same thing happens tonight for the Padres because then they will smash the Nationals, and that'll be a nice, easy night. But the previous outings before that, he allowed 1 combined run in 9 innings of work. Not a huge sample size or anything, but he had pitched better before that last start, so he's probably trying to figure some stuff out. So that's the pitching matchup. Abbott and Clevenger. Nationals, probably the 2-3 names you're going to know. Luke Voight, Nelson Cruz, Cesar Hernandez. Maybe Kybert Ruiz because he was talked about during that Scherzer deal last year. But yeah, other than that, it's not great. It's kind of expected when you trade away Scherzer, Turner, Rendon, or you let Rendon walk, Harper, Soto, Bell. All in the last few years, You're not going to have a great team. Kind of like the Marlins, right? They made the playoffs in 2020, but they took a step back in 2021. Like, you trade away Stanton, Yelich, Ozuna, like, you're not going to be as good. I'm not saying I, totally disagreed with their decision. I know I'm totally going off. That's the Padres' next opponent after the Nationals, but that just popped in my head because I was watching the Jeter doc yesterday, the last episode, and it was talking about his ownership at the Marlins and how he was saying, well, we had to trade them because of, the debt, or someone was talking about the debt that they were in. And it obviously, D. Gordon was another guy there, Realmuto. Like, that didn't work. All of them being there, they weren't winning with that, so might as well change it and not have to pay players enough or as much money as they were being paid. And they made the playoffs in 2020, and then they took a step back. And then the owner, I guess he lied to Jeter, and that's why I am totally fine with Jeter stepping away from the Marlins there. I know this is Padres Nationals, and we totally just went off into a different area, but I was just watching that documentary last night, and that made me the Nationals lineup, having them lose all of those talented players. It's like, it made me think of the Marlins. It's like, yeah, you're not going to be great when you have no one in your lineup anymore. That's also what sucks for Luke Voigt. I hope he gets a standing ovation when he returns to Petco Park next week because, man, to be like 10 minutes away from game time and you get traded because your teammate a couple lockers away says, no, I'm not going there, and he goes to the Red Sox, like, he wasn't expected to be traded. He goes from being a bench bat or probably the DH because Drury probably wouldn't have been traded here. Maybe he's the DH here for a World Series contending team with Soto, Tatis, and Manny, and he was loved in San Diego. I'm not saying Nationals fans don't love him, but now he has to move his family. He had like a 14-month-old, move his family across the country to probably play there for a few months and then get traded to another city. Just his life totally changed, and you just got a feel for him. I mean, yeah, he's making millions of dollars, still has a major league job, but he was a fan favorite for the Padres. Um, what to watch for us today? Obviously, Soto's return to Nats Park. Voight playing against the Padres, and another one is Hader. Will he get another closing situation? You kind of hope that he does, just to get it out of the way. Like he finally gets that first save with the Padres after choking it his first save opportunity on, when was that, Tuesday night, when Manny walked it off. But you also hope that he doesn't get in, because against the Nationals, you hope that they're up like 7-1 or 7-0, or score 13 runs again. That's what you hope happens, and you don't even have Hader go in the game. But he did have that long time off between that Colorado game where he pitched well in that tie game, before having the time off, not even pitching during the Dodger series, and then coming back and really struggling against the Giants on Tuesday. So maybe they do want to get him in and just have him pitch more frequently. So I'd watch for that. My Padre pick last game, it was Manny. Got that right. I am 70-39 so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. Today I'm going to go with Juan Soto. Feels like the obvious pick. Um, could go Josh Bell. Wanted to go a former National. Soto's probably going to want to show Mike Rizzo, you shouldn't have traded me. You should have offered me more money. That AAV that you offered me was disrespectful. And he's probably going to want to hit a bomb tonight. So I'm going to go with Soto. And even regardless of who he was facing, Soto's probably a good pick most nights. The only thing with Soto is he's going to walk, it feels like, every day. So at least once, maybe twice. So you're going to go from 4 at-bats to like 3 at-bats or 2 at-bats in terms of it counting with a chance to get a hit, because some pitchers, they just don't want to pitch to him. We saw with the breakdown that I put out yesterday. It's on this YouTube channel, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. Talking about Manny and Voight, or not Manny and Voight, Manny and Soto. Manny hitting behind Soto. He's having a lot of success hitting behind Soto. And you saw I had played some of those at-bats in the breakdown, and pitchers just didn't want to pitch to him. And then some pitchers, well, if you didn't pitch to Soto, you kind of have to pitch to Manny. So that just creates a really dangerous combination there. But yeah, so that's what I would watch for. That's my Padre pick. Soto's return to Washington. Voight playing versus the Padres. I believe Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals threw for the first time since his injury at Nats Park today, but no one probably cares about that because he's not on the Padres anymore. As for the Padres lineup, I don't think we've got over that yet. It's pretty much the same top 6. It is the same top 6. Profar, Soto, you probably have this down by memory, or I do. Profar, Soto, Manny, and then Bell, Drury, Crony. And then after that, 7, 8, 9, shortstop, catcher, center field. Well, today it's shortstop, center field, catcher. Kim at short, hitting 7th. Grisham's in center. Got a righty on the mound, so he is in the lineup as a lefty. Batting 8th, and then Nola's batting 9th, catching. So no Jorge Alfaro still. I don't know if he's going to go on the IL or he's available as a pinch hit bat today. I have no idea, but he's not in the lineup. Hasn't been in the lineup since, when was that? Was that Tuesday? They had that knee injury, finished that inning, and then Nola came in behind him. So still hasn't played yet, dealing with that knee issue. So Nola still playing, still starting. And he had the day. It's not like Nola, is catching 4 straight days or anything. Like, he had the day off yesterday, so not too surprising there. And let's get to some comments. Longball asks, has anyone picked up Lamet? Yes, the Rockies did. Marco has a bad feeling about this series. I don't. I understand why you do, like playing down to their competition. They've struggled against the Rockies on the road this year. Last couple years. Lost 6-0 game to the Diamondbacks. Like, playing down to their competition has been a thing with this team, but it is a different team too. And the Nationals they're just garbage. Like, it's hard for me to think that they're going to lose the series. Like, fans want a sweep. I want a sweep, but I'm not going to be mad about just a series win. Yeah, Mills heard the 18th for the Tatis return. That's what Bob Melvin. I was talking about this on the episode earlier today. Yeah, 18th. Bomel did not say on Ben and Woods this morning that it was going to be the 18th, but he did say that the earliest he's probably going to return is, or that he could return, is that Washington series when they come back home, starting on the 18th. We thought it was maybe Miami, but he hasn't played center field yet in those rehab games. So, yeah, I think Washington, according to Bomel, the very earliest he could return is probably the Washington series. Happy Friday, Michael. Yeah, Marco, you make a good point. Yeah, Voight's going to seek revenge against the Padres too, just like Soto and Bell will probably against the Nats. Um, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much he's upset at like the Padres. He's obviously not upset at his teammates. He's upset at Hosmer. Um, I'm not. I'm not sold that he's like pissed off at the front office or anything, because they tried to trade Hosmer to the Nationals, and they couldn't trade him to the Nationals because Hosmer said no. And so Voight was the next guy up. And according to reports, it was Voight or Myers that the Nationals were willing to take on. And the Padres picked Voight because Myers is just a better all around player probably right now. And they're trying to win this year, and you just don't know what that outfield situation is going to look like right now, for the rest of the season. So they went with Myers over Voight. Like, maybe he's pissed off at that, but like, can you really blame the Padres? You could also say, could you really blame Haas for wanting to go to Boston over Washington? But I think he's more probably pissed off at Hosmer. John, thank you for the super chat again. Anyone that wants to support the channel, I appreciate it if you use that super chat button. I'll definitely show your comment on the screen. Also on regular videos, you can use the super thanks button. I appreciate all the support. Greg says his pick is Drury. Oh, by the way, let me get back to John's comment. Sorry. Totally just skipped over it. I showed it, but I skipped over it. What's up, Ben? All my homies hate Hosmer. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much the entire Padres fan base, except the fans maybe that aren't like on Twitter and stuff and don't like fully pay attention to the team every day. Yeah, everyone pretty much hated him, including myself. I'm blocked by him on Twitter. I found that out a couple weeks ago at the trade deadline when I looked him up to see if he posted a goodbye message. Still nothing. And I saw it was blocked. So I'm sure if he posts one, he's not going to, because it's August 12th now. He's played with the Red Sox for a week now. So he's not going to post one. But if he did, I'd probably find out somewhere on Twitter. Someone would post it, but I'm blocked, so I wouldn't be able to see it. Cobra's Padre pick today is Jake. Okay. Jake's my favorite player, so obviously I'm in on that. Greg says Drury. Long Ball says Manny. That's not a bad one either. Mills says Grisham. So a lot of different picks here today. Yeah, Marco says Padres should have sent Myers to the Nationals instead of Voight. I don't know if I agree with that, like, because they did end up getting Drury to replace Voight. Like, Myers, yeah, could they have gone and got another outfielder? Sure, but Myers can play first. He's played that well. He can play the outfield. He's just more versatile, and you just have no idea what's going to happen with injuries and this outfield situation. Like, I'd rather have Myers playing than Mazzara. And I'm fine with Myers playing first base whenever Josh Bell's not playing there, or whenever Crony or Drury aren't playing there, So I like Myers' versatility. And a part of me, like, I love Luke Voigt, and I will cheer for him when he steps in the batter's box. Well, not like during play, but at Petco when he steps in or he's getting his name announced, I'm gonna stand up. Yeah, I loved him, but Myers, like, there's still that, like, it's his last year here probably, and he's been here through the ups and the downs through this entire roller coaster that all of us Padre fans have been on through 2015, being all hyped for that, and then that just sucking, that not working out, going through the rebuilds, through Andy Green in September, dude, doing relays and stuff, and Carlos Asuaje, and he's been through all that, and now the team's finally getting to win. And for him not to have been a part of it, that would have bummed me out a little bit more than Voight being traded. That's just me. Myers is one of my favorite players just because he has been, through everything like us ever since he's been here. He's like the last guy here. So part of me, it's like, no, I wanted Will here, and I want Will here when they win a World Series. Hopefully it's this year, That's just how I view it, though. Bring up Sam Gallagher, Longball says. Well, I think his name is Cam Gallagher. You're saying if Alfaro is hurt and he's on the IL? Yeah. I have no idea. I don't really know anything about Cam Gallagher. I'm not going to act like I do. Campusano, I think that what I've heard is Gallagher's like a really good defensive catcher, and he's better at that than offense. And maybe the Padres think, hey, we have the offense right now. Let's go bring up Gallagher instead of Campusano because we need that defense. I don't know. But yeah, he could definitely get brought up. I think the Padres traded Brent Rooker to Kansas City for him right before the deadline. No one talked about it because Gallagher's, I think, in the minor leagues. But, well, I know he's in the minor leagues. I just don't know where he is. Probably El Paso. But yeah, he's an option if Alfaro goes on the IL. Big Iron Bum says the Padres would go after Billy Hamilton since he was outrighted. No. I mean, El Paso maybe, but I mean, they have Juan Soto, they have Grisham, Myers, Profar, Mazzara. I think they're good. Marco asks, so do we all agree that Tatis should be DH when he comes back from injury? Why do you think they brought Drury for? I disagree. No, I don't. I think Tatis will DH some games, but he's still valuable at shortstop. He's still valuable in center, and I know that he wants to play defense. Like him DHing, you're minimizing his impact. Drury, they brought him in, guess what? So he can DH. No, Tatis, he should be playing in the field most of the time, and he wants to. Oh, nice. We got a fan in DC going to the game tonight, rocking my City Connect. Yeah, Padres won't be wearing it because they're not at home, but yeah, it is Friday night. Yep. Congrats. You don't have to watch the game or listen to the people on Apple TV Plus tonight. And I do plan to do the highlights and stuff like usual at Talking Friars on Twitter. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that with it being on Apple TV Plus. Oh, Dominic went last time. Jake got the cycle when he went. Dominic, do you live in DC, in that DC area? That's cool. Yeah, I remember that game. That was like right after the All-Star break last year, huh? He exploded. Didn't they score like 19 runs or something crazy in that game? It was crazy. Mills says Tatis should shortstop, and Drury was a good pickup. He can give Manny and Jake a break sometimes. Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah, long ball, you're right. 24 runs. Yeah. I don't know why 19 was in my head, but yeah, 24 runs during that Jake cycle. And that was the same week. Was it the weekend? I think it was during the weekend because the All-Star break's during the week. Yeah, so that same weekend, that shooting in Washington happened, remember? That was crazy. Yeah. And I had Skip Schumacher on, the bench coach at the time. I had him on the show the next series when they were in Atlanta, and I think the game got rained out or something. So I had him on when the game was supposed to happen. Yeah, that was a crazy period of time there. Anthony says, which games are you going to once they come back home? Thursday the 18th, Friday the 19th, and then Sunday. The 20, what was that? 21st? Yeah. I don't have tickets for Saturday, but if you have them, I'll sign up for those. Okay, Dominic's right outside of DC, 24 runs. It was great, and all the Nats fans are so mad. Well, yeah. Imagine being a Padre fan and they allow 24 runs, and you see a cycle hit by the other team. Like that would suck. And I don't think I don't think they traded Scherzer yet at that time or Trey Turner, so they still had that team. Yeah, that's embarrassing, giving up 24 runs. Marco says, but don't you think that Tatis has a higher chance of hurting his wrist again playing shortstop? Yeah. But there's risks in everything. Like, okay, so you're going to DH him the rest of his career just because there's risk in him hurting his wrist? Like, there's going to be risk in him hitting and running down the line and hurting his hamstring. Like, he's a baseball player. You just got to put him out there and hope that he doesn't get hurt. Like his biggest value, yeah, it's when he's on the field, but his biggest value is when he's on the field, like literally on the field, like on defense too, not just DHing. Because I do think he's gotten better defensively. Has a strong arm, obviously ridiculously fast. And you have the better, your lineup is better if Drury's DHing and Tatis is also in it, Instead of Tatis DHing and, well, maybe Drury would play the field, but I'd rather have Tatis on defense than Drury, I think. Look at the game at third base last weekend against the Dodgers. Holy cow, is that brutal to watch. All right, I think that's going to do it. Padres Nationals, Apple TV Plus here in a couple hours. Cory Abbott from San Diego. Hopefully he gets shelled tonight. Clevenger on the mound for the Padres. Hopefully they get a win, the first of hopefully 3 this weekend for a series sweep. And I'll talk to you guys later. Go Padres. See you later.